So, hello and welcome again to another episode of Beyond the Last Man. This one is probably a World Cup special. It's just me and Craig today. Hi, Craig. How are you doing?
Martin, how are you? You well?
Good. Yeah, it's kind of one of these kind of we just have to fill in something, and I think we can talk a bit about the FA Cup, the draw for it, and all the Arsenal players we're playing for. At the moment, it's only a few actually playing. A few still didn't come off the bench, and I wonder if that's actually going to happen. And yeah, we're going to also talk about our new Rangers coming out tomorrow. So there will be a link in the YouTube channel as well for that, and it's going to be available from tomorrow onwards. And if you want to have it before Christmas, you have to order it by the end of the week, so they can assure that it's been delivered before Christmas. But like the line will be online anyway. But yeah, so let's get on with it. We're still growing. We're still 2,760 followers now. Thanks for everybody who is following us and actually listening to what we're actually talking about, the rubbish we're talking. But yeah, as I say, it's a bit hard at the moment because there's nothing really much happening. I know we had a podcast on with Lottie, and we're talking about the women playing, and they're on a break now as well this week. So there's nothing happening besides for Arsenal. So we just talk about this. So let's start with the World Cup. We are in the middle of it. And yeah, a few players we've seen. A few quite successful. Granit Xhaka is doing quite well, I think, with Switzerland. Tomiyasu, I think they lost one game and they won one game against Germany, which is amazing. And funny enough, like the player Arsenal bought, the Japanese player, I think he actually scored a goal. Which he never played for Arsenal. So
Arsenal legend Takumo Asano.
Exactly. So yeah, it's good. So are you watching the World Cup? What do you think of it?
Yeah, I'm trying to watch as many games as I can.
Yeah.
I was impressed with Saka in the first game for England against Iran. He done really well. The 2 goals he scored was brilliant. I think he was a little quiet against USA, but I think. So some English fans are very fickle, like Saka was man of the match against Iran. He didn't had a quiet enough game against USA, but I thought the England team in general were very poor against USA.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? That they kind of the first game, like they smashed them, like, and I think it's always if you score quite early, I think it's easy enough. Like then you go on, like and it was a 6-2, and everybody was expecting it to come out against America, and it just didn't happen that early, and then. They just didn't really get into any flow, and I think Xhaka had still a good game, but like, look, he's one of the youngest there in the team, and I think actually it's more Southgate's fault because he has so much other talent on the bench, which he should have played earlier. I don't understand why he doesn't play Foden.
No, like I don't see the hype about Mason Mount either. I think he's a good player.
No,
I think he's a great player. He seems to start for Southgate a lot, which I don't really understand. I think if the players England have, Southgate could be a lot more, kind of. He could be a lot more attacking than he is. He plays 2 holding midfielders.
Yeah.
And he plays, Harry Kane and 2 of the wingers off him. But I think England have the players to maybe play Rice in centre mids, and Foden and maybe Mount because Southgate likes him off him. And even Grealish. I think like it's definitely against the lesser sides, and realistically, England are a lot better than USA, Iran, and Wales. So you should be confident enough to play them players against them teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you go on later to the knockouts of the tournament, it's going to be a lot. They might go to what 3 then, But
exactly, it's kind of like one of the things everybody's saying is kind of like, when you play anything, you want to play as many players as you want. So when you actually go into the knockout stages, then exactly, people already played. So it's not their first game when they go into the knockout stages. But I think personally, I think that he would have thought that he would have beaten America and then would have like a free game today against Wales. This is going to go out. Yeah, this is going to go out after we actually recording this podcast. So it'd be an interesting one because look, I can't see Wales beating England. I just can't see it for whatever reason. Maybe a freak. I mean, there's a few results in there I didn't see coming, but but this is one definitely. I think for me, Wales beating England would be a bigger shock than Saudi Arabia beating Argentina. I think because Argentina was the first game. I think they took it a bit easy, but England know exactly what they have to do. So if they get beaten, there's something not right. But I felt a bit sorry for some of the other players. And to be honest, I think Kane hasn't got a great World Cup. I know he was injured, and he's not playing what he is used to play. As I said, I don't know if there's any injury worries there, but Southgate has this kind of mentality. He sticks with players, and look at even the back, and he doesn't change. And I think it might hurt him when he actually comes into the knockout stages and he hasn't got anybody, acclimatized yet.
It's the same with other players, Martin. Pickford and Harry Maguire shouldn't be playing.
Yeah,
how if Southgate picked informed players, they might go. Look, in fairness, they've got far in the tournaments they've played.
Yeah.
But if he plays the informed players, I think it would be a lot better, and he might get a lot more praise from the English media.
Yeah.
I don't see how Maguire and Pickford are playing. Not just because they're Arsenal players, but I think White and Ramsdale should definitely be starting for them.
Yeah. White might be a. It's a tough one for White because on the right side there's a few good players, and Trippier is probably at the moment, and I wouldn't say he's in good form. So White would have a good battle, but then White can play inside of him. So they could play them, and play him instead of Maguire. Why wouldn't you? Or at least try it, to see what's coming out of it. And as you said, Maguire is not in the best form anyway. And I think even when you look at the 2 goals they got against Iran, he was at fault at one of them. He's kind of, for me, it's a calamity to wait to happen because again, America and Iran are not really the most forward going teams, so you wouldn't have thought that it would create a lot of chances. And then if they come up, I don't know who they're going to play in the next round if they go through, depending on obviously on which way the positions are in the groups. But if they're coming against someone they're actually going to attack them, then the defenders might be a little bit at risk. So look, we'll see what's going to happen. It's easy to criticize, and obviously we would like to see the Arsenal players playing, but and I don't even like. He's very loyal to them, and I mean, in fairness, he went to a European final. But as you said, if you play the players are in form, it's something like that. And I'm sure he wished that this game today would be he could try play anybody, and play as many players as he think, and he might still do. As I said, for England not to qualify, I think they have to lose 4-0 or something, which is I can't see that.
I just seen the teams there. Saka isn't starting.
Okay.
He started Rashford and Foden.
Okay.
So
that's
he dropped
a bit of difference.
He dropped Sterling, Saka, and he started Kyle Walker into the Trippier.
Okay. So again, and that's what I'm saying. He has White has a bit of competition on the right side anyway. I don't know if he thinks he should play there, if that is his position he wants to play. I know he plays for Arsenal, he plays there. But White can play anywhere. He can play in the middle and he can even play in front of him. So look, we'll see what happens. And at least some of the players, and I'm happy for Saka that he gets his game time. Oh, he got 2 goals, and give him a bit of rest. I think that might do him as well good. And see what's going to go on in the tournament. As I said, for Xhaka on the other side for Switzerland, is he they played the Swiss game in it. I thought they were very unlucky yesterday against Brazil. They really defended really well. He plays his usual game at the moment, what he plays for Switzerland. And our 2 guys came in both games, and it didn't make much difference. I don't think. And again, it's just very hard to think. But again, to get into a Brazilian team, I think is even harder than an English team, because they're going forward. I mean, I don't know why Richarlison is playing. Again, that's the thing. But then he scored an absolute belter of a goal. The second goal was just amazing. Doesn't matter if he plays for Spurs, but there was some goal he scored.
It was very hard to praise that goal, Martin. I'm not going to lie. Very hard to praise.
I know,
Fourth player.
It does hurt, because in fairness, he didn't do much in the game.
No.
Before that, so it's really say, okay, fair enough, I mean, but that he has this kind of goals in him, or most of Brazilians would have this kind of goals, so some of them are spectacular. But it's especially for Martinelli. I think for Jesus might be a bit easier to get into the team, but for Martinelli, but he got his run out, so he played at the World Cup, which is great, so and let's see how far they go, and they might have to rotate as well, because I think they won twice now, so he might play a complete different team in the last game.
I think Brazil are already through, so
hopefully
the likes of Jesus and the Martinelli players now. I know Neymar is injured, so maybe that bumps Martinelli up a bit more. Like I was actually surprised that Martinelli came on in the first game for Brazil.
Yeah.
That just so, like from all the reports, I think he's meant to be doing very well. And it doesn't surprise me.
Like, he did, like, I mean, I know like they only have 5 subs, but he actually really kind of emptied his bench and gave everybody, because funny enough, like I think from the whole Brazilian team, there's 26 in the team, 16 of them is the first World Cup they're playing in. So it's something, it's not like only they don't have a lot of experienced players, but they have a lot of players who never played in the World Cup and they never experienced that. So he tried, like to bring them in, and fair enough, like, and we'll see how they go. I think they're, for me at the moment, looking at them, for me, they're the favorites. Probably France, and it looks, if everything goes the way it's forecasted, it's probably a France Brazil final. So
I agree.
We'll see how that goes.
It's hard to see past a France and Brazil final. I think Brazil will win it, but then Mbappe is having a great tournament. In fairness, to him.
There was actually rumors today that Benzema might be back. They never took him off the team because it happened so early, so short before the thing, and not sure how serious his injury was. I know it was a hamstring injury. Imagine like you go all the way to the final and then somebody comes in and just takes your spot. Like, oh my God, like that must be like I've been in
Giroud, innit? Did you see Giroud?
Yeah,
it's crazy to think that a lot of Arsenal fans wanted out of the club is now France's all-time, joint with Thierry. Leading goal scorer. Like, look, to be honest with you, I think he will overtake him eventually. I think he was a bit annoyed to come after the day, Giroud. But look, the way Kylian Mbappe has gone at the moment, I think he's on 27 goals and he's 20 years of age. I don't think.
If there's no injuries for Mbappe, like he's gonna be an absolute like Haaland, like he's not gonna stop scoring.
Another player that Arsene could have signed, Martin.
I know, yeah. Jesus Christ, we could have signed a lot of players in it, like it just.
I know.
But Giroud. Look, I mean, we can look back at Giroud and like, unfortunately, it was this. Was it Aubameyang triangle? Like one had to go there, the other one had to go there, and then we can be able to sign him. So hindsight is always good. Like I always liked Giroud. I thought Giroud is exactly that kind of player what we would need now.
100%. I agree.
It's just one of these kind of like target players. You can plays with the back to the goal and you can hold up a ball, get the ball. That's if you could buy somebody in the transfer window. Not Giroud, obviously, but like somebody like him. I think that's what we're missing. All our players are very small. We don't have this kind of like bulky kind of player, And look, he went, and unfortunately he went to Chelsea and they won the Europa Cup with thing, and he didn't really do himself any favors, saying what he said. But look, it is what it is. I mean, you play football and you probably know what it is. But look, but he's I always liked him. I thought he was a really good player.
Some of the goals he scored over the years were sensational.
And coming off the bench as well, most of them as well. Like, and he's an impressive player. It's not like that he's just big, like can hold the ball. He can actually score. Like he can play football. But that's it. Like when you have to sell players to get players, and you never know what you're gonna get and what you're gonna sell. And unfortunately,
he's probably improved since he left Arsenal. In fairness to him, he had a decent run with Chelsea. Unfortunately, beat us in the Europa League final. Then he went on to AC Milan. He's won the league there. All-time leading goal scorer.
Exactly. He plays very well. Like he's I don't know how long he's gone for 5 years nearly now. So in the 5 years, like he won a lot of stuff. So he's not a bad. Obviously, he's went to quite good teams as well. But Milan wouldn't be the team like that you would have associated winning the league. And he went there, and he wasn't the only player, but look, he's just thinking it. It's a bit of shame we don't see much of Saliba. Maybe we're going to see a bit more in the thing. But again, like to go into a French team, I think it's great experience for him in his age to go to a World Cup. I mean, he's going to have many more to come, I'd say, because like if he can cement himself in that back four in the French league and the way he plays with Arsenal, I'm sure like there's a lot of things for him to come. So maybe he's going to get.
I'm very surprised I haven't seen him. Do you know, he played a lot in the Nations League this time.
He did,
in the summer. And I know he had a bad game against Denmark. I think it was in August, or September, and he got subbed at half time. So that might put him down the pecking order a little bit. He was starting for them, so I am kind of surprised. Now, in fairness to France, they've went with a back four in the first game, and then went to back three to the second game. So look, I think they're through now. So we might see him maybe in the next game.
Yeah, we never know. Like as I said, like that's kind of like the beauty. If you win your 2 games, you can really put somebody out and and experiment maybe a little bit, whatever it is. So
listen, I'm not complaining because
no,
he's not starting, he's not playing, which is great for Arsenal to know. It will be great to get some sort of minutes because you can say
exactly, yeah. But we don't have to forget, like as I said, our team is really young anyway. So like the players who are a bit older, like a Jesus, like a Xhaka, like a Tomiyasu, they get in their games. The ones on the fringe, the only one really like is a young fella on has a starting position is Saka. But like Saliba and Martinelli, it's just an experience for them to go, and the time for them will come. They're just gonna get another 4 years now of like solid football, and they will grow stronger and they will come. And I think it's good for him to be there. Just to get the experience, and that it just shows him as well when they play for Arsenal, and they can actually qualify to play for the national team, and that's what you want, and I'm sure there's a few English players as well. They're gonna come down and down the line, and like Smith Rowe, maybe he's a future England player probably if he gets back on some kind of track. And but it's hard to think like that. Your second goalkeeper is playing regularly for America, like Turner.
Yeah, he's doing very well as well.
And he's doing quite well, like when your first goalkeeper doesn't get a shout, So, but look,
very impressive for him, I must say, Martin. Just
the
first 2 games, I thought he's been very good. He got a lot of stick by Arsenal fans the first kind of
exactly,
games. Like if he plays like that for Arsenal, then he'd be pushing Ramsdale.
And 100%. And that's what you want, in some ways, because. As we said before as well, it's like he played in the Europa League and everybody said, it's Europa League games and we never seen. You have to see a player playing and in some kind of competition, and he can show it, and hopefully he has a good game against Iran today as well. It will do his confidence a lot of good, and that's the good thing about it. Like them guys are going over there, and they might not gonna win anything, or they might go in the further rounds, but it's just the experience to be there. And as we've seen, Turner. He's not the best goalkeeper, that's 100% sure, but he's actually quite solid, and he's making things, and you can see the way he plays. He plays the Arteta way. When he goes out and quick balls and everything, and that just shows you, where they are and where they go, and it's good to see, and hopefully he's gonna get far. I mean, America still if they beat Iran today and England beat Wales, they come second.
If they beat Iran, or. I don't think the draw gets them through. I think they need to beat Iran to get through.
I think Iran. What did Iran? Did they win against? I don't know, like what the league
Wales, wasn't it?
They beat Wales, didn't they? Yeah.
So Iran USA need to beat Iran.
Yeah, because like they drew against England, America, and they drew against Wales. So they have 2 points, but Iran have 3, so they have to win. But to be honest, I don't think Iran are that hard of a team. The only thing is I think America actually, when they played against Wales in the first half, I was actually surprised they didn't score any goals, or like they could have had much more goals than they could have won the game easily.
I don't think Wales are, Wales are carrying Gareth Bale and Ramsey. They're not good enough anymore.
Oh, look, it's sad. For me, it is sad, because I'm personally, I'm really sad because like Wales threw out Austria in the playoffs, and I thought like Austria, especially the way they're playing at the moment, they beat Italy 2-0 during the week, and they're really playing solid, and it was just a blip at that time when and to be honest, like Bale scored 2 amazing goals. And look, but it is what it is. Like they had the World Cup, it's a good time for them to be as well at the World Cup, but I don't think, as you said, like Ramsey and Bale are well past their mark. They're just carrying the team now in the World Cup, and I don't think there's much coming out. We never know. Like they might beat England today. We're coming back.
What? Like you said, I'd be very surprised, but
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me.
No, as I said, like but I think that, but for them to actually go through, they would have to win by good margin. I think.
I think they need
Because they only have 1 point, so
Yeah, I
they
think they
need if they win
need
it, it's
a
4.
draw, and they need to win by 2 goals, is it, against England?
Yeah, to
Something
think
like that.
to because if Iran wins, they have 6 points.
6 points, yeah.
So if America wins, they have 5 points. So
Yeah.
it has to be a draw between Iran and America.
USA.
Yeah, USA, and then Wales have to win, I think, by 2 goals. So
Yeah.
look, it's not impossible. They still have a chance, but yeah, I'd say like it's going to be very, very difficult.
I'm quietly hoping that Ghana are knocked out this week by Uruguay, just because a certain Thomas Partey hopefully comes back soon to Arsenal, because the later he goes onto the competition, the more
I know.
He's so important.
And he's actually I just actually wanted to mention him. He's actually playing quite well. So like I mean. Yeah. Like we'll see. Like I mean, Ghana is like they were unlucky. I thought against Portugal when they like scored, and then like 2 minutes later, like your man was celebrating and they came out and scored again. It was heartbreaking for them. But look, like as you said, look, we all want our players back. But on the other side, like it's a good thing for them. But yeah, especially Partey, because he's made out of glass, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you don't want him to get
the most important player. So
I think you know that maybe. Is there actually an Africa Cup on this year?
I don't think it's this year. I think it's the year after.
Because somebody, I don't know, I don't know where I heard it. It said like, well, Partey comes back, he's going to go to the Africa Cup. I can't see having an Africa Cup after a World Cup in November.
I'm just looking at this now. December. Do you know what? You're right.
Is it one? Yeah, that's crazy.
Sorry, it doesn't start till next June, so we're okay.
Okay, the Africa, that's a good place to go. So yeah, then I was thinking, Jesus Christ, they can't go like they played in the World Cup in November, December, and then they go to Africa Cup in February. That can't be right. So yeah, look, so that's at least once if he comes back, it's been a good thing for it. But yeah, I mean, beside that, I mean, we don't have that. I mean, Tomiyasu, as I said, he came on, I think, in the first game. And look, he was a bit of doubt because he got injured just before the World Cup, so I think they're just gonna ease him in as well. And
he played very well when he came on the first game, but again, just I don't know what it is with Arsenal players. It just seems that left back role, just the left back for Arsenal always when they injured Tomiyasu, Tierney, and Zinchenko. So it's crazy that between 3 left backs.
Must be a draft in the Emirates on that side. I don't know. Just getting a cold there. I don't know what it is. Yeah, but so let's hope, like, as I said, I can't see Japan going much further than maybe, I don't know, they still can qualify for the next round because they obviously beat Germany, and that group is quite open. So yeah, let's see how they go and what it is. But in the meantime, obviously the other ones I actually started training yesterday. Yeah. And I think they're going to play Watford during the week in the training ground. Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. Yeah. So they're just going to hop over the fence, and they're going to have a bit of a kickabout. Which obviously I think, like, Watford obviously have a lot of players as well. They stayed at home, so something to keep them fresh. And then they're going over to Dubai for the Dubai Super Cup, where they're gonna play Lyon and Milan and Juventus, I think. No, Juventus we're playing at home. Sorry, we're only playing Lyon and Milan for the Super Cup, which is gonna be an interesting way to score. As much as I heard, I think you're gonna get
it's crazy.
It's 2 points for a draw. Yeah. And so I don't know what they're trying to.
You get a point for every goal you score as well, I think.
Yeah. So look, it's an interesting thing for a short kind of tournament. They might be working. I'm not sure if this is gonna think. I personally, and I think I mentioned this on the WhatsApp group, is I would actually prefer, like, if you have a goal draw, so everybody scores a draw, you should get 2 points. If you have a goalless draw, then you should only get 1 point, because that would encourage you as well, like, not to sit back just to score a goal, because you can get an extra point, if you actually score, and if it would be a thing for it. And yeah, look, things change so much in football. I mean,
Chelsea is that as well.
I think Chelsea, but we don't play Chelsea. But they are in it. They play I think there's 4 teams in it, and they play. 2 of them play each other. So yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting kind of conclusion, and then it's going to be come back we're going to play Juventus in the Emirates Stadium.
Yeah,
which,
7
if anybody is interested, we do have tickets for that. Like, you can go to the supporters club. So if you're a member and anybody wants to go, I mean, it's obviously the last weekend before Christmas.
Yeah.
Tickets going to be available for that. There's going to be, I think they're going to go on proper sale as well if they're not being picked up. But yeah, we don't know what kind of team is going to be playing. It's probably going to be a B team. I think everybody who's going to play in the World Cup is not going to be participating in it. But look, if anybody wants to go, like the way things go at the moment, tickets are very hard to come by. If you see Arsenal, that's something to go to. Be an interesting game to see Juventus as well. And then we're back anyway already in West Ham on the 26th. So yeah, we'll see. Time is just
crazy to think that's going to be another month, Martin, before we watch Arsenal again.
Yeah. It's absolutely mad, isn't it? Like, it's just kind of, it's such a, it's weird on both sides. Football is on every day, like, okay, now like the 10 o'clock games are finished, but it's on every day. And like, but there's just no Premier League, and it's just kind of such a weird kind of feeling. And you just hope, and obviously because we're so on top of the league, like, you just want to get it going again. And hopefully we can pick up straight away from where we went. And hopefully we can then get into the new year and get a few signings. And that's actually bringing us to the next topic. A few rumors are floating around today, or like the last couple of days, about that there is an agreement in place with Mudryk for £40 million, which would be an absolute, I think, 40 million. And obviously we don't know what the add-ons are, but I think that would be something like we could actually afford, which would be agreeable as well. Like, not the 90 million that was like floated for a couple of days for. I think he would be an amazing signing. What do you think of him?
Yeah, like I seen that report that there's an agreement in place for 40 million. I'd be surprised if it's that low. I think there might be some sort of compromise, maybe 55 million. There's a lot of rumours about it. I think there is some substance to it. But I am cautious. Nobody legitimate kind of has come out and said it yet. It's a surprise because in the summer we went for Rafinha, and he was the right sided winger. So I'm presuming he would have kind of fought it out with Saka for the right wing role. But now we're going to Mudryk, who is predominantly a left winger. We have Martinelli there, and we have Smith Rowe also to come back, so who is another left winger. So I'm kind of interested to see, will Arteta kind of, will he start playing Smith Rowe as a number 10 again, or will he start maybe trying to play him as a centre mid?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that, like, I know Vieira is kind of like, can be playing on the right side as well. Look, I don't know, like, how versatile Mudryk is, like, if he can play left and right like Xhaka can. On the other side, like, Xhaka can play on the left as well. So he played there before. He plays left. He can look at that boy can play everywhere.
Yeah,
it's just incredible. I just think we just need a few more, like, solid players, and then we can rotate them. And if all the players we bought so far in the last couple of windows, they're very, very versatile. Like, Zinchenko, as you can see, he can play, like, left back. He can go forward. I think Vieira can play in the middle as well. He can play right. He can play left. He even goes like a centre forward for Portugal for the under-21. So obviously that's not going to be
the cost, Martin, because I'm not sure how versatile Mudryk is. He looks like a smashing player. He's 21. He should only go on and get better. The pace he has is frightening. Maybe Arteta is saying we need 2 players per position, so he could well fight out with Martinelli. I know Martinelli could possibly be a striker in the future as well. So I think he's a player we probably will go for, but it won't be anywhere near 80, 90 million. I'd say the max might go to is 50, 55 with add-ons, but
exactly.
We definitely need another winger, because I know Smith Rowe's coming back, but how can we really rely on him? We definitely need cover for Saka. Martinelli could probably play Saka's side as well. So I think that's the main kind of rumor. I know there's still a lot of rumors about Danilo.
Yeah,
the centre mids. There seems to be some sort of agreement maybe for 19, 20 million.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's one that probably will happen, but you know, I looked at a few kind of YouTube videos and reports. I'm not sure how ready he is now.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it reminds me a bit of like a Lokonga signing, you know. Like, I know
Yeah.
he played for Flamengo, and it's a different league. It's the same like with like Martinelli when he came from a Brazilian side. It's gonna take time. But saying that, look, if you can get players in, it's better to have them rather not to have them. Not being like in a thing where you have to start signing like Doug Luis, you know, on the last minute and don't get them in, and I think that's kind of like a bit disappointing. But I think I mean, Tielemans is still floating around as well.
Still floating,
so, yeah. So, and I think Tielemans would be actually a more solid signing, because I think you could play him straight away if you need him.
Yeah, definitely.
Where Danilo has to be broken in really, you know.
I think where we are at the moment, I'd really like the club to go for someone, you know, that is kind of ready now, you know. Like, look, don't get me wrong, Danilo could be a very good player, and Lenny's deal runs out next summer. So I think realistically, I think Danilo is probably Lenny's replacement. And then obviously next summer we could maybe go and buy, you know, that big top centre mid. And two players I think would be perfect for Arsenal is Rice and Bellingham. I think Bellingham is probably out of our reach. 100 million, you know, but Rice, there's rumours that he's going to go for 65, 70 million. And I think it's ourselves and maybe Chelsea and United that are
100%. I mean, there's going to be, unfortunately, huge amount of money is going to be thrown around in the summer, I think, from all different kind of clubs, between United, Newcastle, Chelsea, City. Let's see where we're going to finish the league. If we can get into Champions League positions, which we hopefully will, I think we're in a much better bargain position to attract players like Rice, because I know he plays for West Ham, but I'm sure he wants to play in the Champions League. That's going to be everybody's thing. And if we can get there, and if we can continue what we did in the last couple of games, I think we could be in a very good bargain position to be a club, actually, you know, young team, young squad, you know, like, and I think that's a lot of kind of, you know, what some players will be looking for, you know. And
there's a lot of kind of ifs and buts, but I think if Arsenal is in top four and the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool don't, you know, a lot of players might want to come to Arsenal because of Champions League, you know, then. And 100%. We're a team that's growing with young players, so you'd think people from the outside would be looking out and saying, Jesus, you know, I wouldn't mind being a part of that. But I really hope the club go and get the centre mid and winger in January, because it was both of the squads to challenge City. Even though it's going to be tough, you know. But Europa League as well, you know, Martin. Like, it's a lot of the squad players, some of them maybe aren't good enough, but you know, after the kind of last 16 Europa League, it goes into the quarters. You're playing, you know, big teams.
Yeah, and that's what you want. As I said, we definitely need 2 or 3 signings in the January window, and then hopefully cement our position and go up and be Champions League. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but like at least going to be in the Champions League, and then we're going to be a team thing. I think Bellingham is going to be one of these, you know, like I don't know. You would have to break the bank. Like, it's going to be like a Grealish signing, you know, like 100 million, 100 bit more, which is going to be just because he's English, and he's going to be absolutely, you know, like, you know, there's so many teams that are going to go for him. But yeah, I think he would be a great player. But look, there's a lot of things for. But
a lot of Liverpool fans are convinced of getting Bellingham.
Yeah, and again, for them, it's going to be where they're going to go end up, you know, in the league. That's going to be a massive thing for them if they don't make Champions League.
Yeah, it'll work in, like, I'm not saying our favour, but, you know, Champions League people's favourites.
But 100%, like, you know, and look, there's only 4 spots in the Champions League, so it's not going to be easy. Whoever is going to be one of the big ones is going to be outside of the 4. If it's going to be United, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, I hope it's not going to be us again. But
if we get top 4, Martin, I think you know, next summer it has to be kind of the statement signings.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just read on Twitter now. Look, obviously, you know, rumours yourself, but in the past, Arsenal have tried twice to sign Joe Felix from Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that kind of ship has sailed, but that's the type of calibre of signing that Arsenal need, because it'll make people stand up and say, Jesus, you know, Arsenal have quality players now. So he's another player that I think is interesting. A bit like Odegaard, hasn't really done brilliant at Atletico Madrid, but I think 2022, 23 is such a high ceiling. I don't think Atletico Madrid have a lot of money at the moment either. So again, 50, 60 million could get him.
It's funny when deals go right, all of a sudden, like Man City are moaning now that they sold the wrong players to the wrong club, and if deals go wrong, then everybody say, 70 million for Pepe, you never know how things go, like we could have said this forever, and it just depends, like really, like what we buy. And look, I think we can only see what happens from the outside. We all have this kind of like visions of what could be, obviously, even if we buy all these players, we can only play 11 and actually more, but then when you're gonna have a substitution or whatever, but in the end of it, you can only play 11 things. So some of the players we have now have to go, and it's just gonna be hard, like to see it. But like if you said that Zinchenko would be such a good player when we bought, I would have never envisioned that he would be such a great impact player for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And for me, he really, like, obviously he's a few injuries now in the last couple of weeks beforehand, but for me, he really changed the way we play from the left side. The whole midfield kind of play completely changed. And when he was playing with Xhaka and Partey, it just made such a change. And again, it's not just buying any kind of player and trying to fit him in. Like Arteta has his plan, and he needs to fit into the system.
Fit into the system, and like
exactly.
There's the unfortunate thing for squad members and everything at the moment, Martin, is just like, if we get Champions League next year, which is looking likely, we're gonna go past the likes of Cedric's, Holden, probably Nketiah. They're not probably good enough to be Arsenal players, so they have to move on, but we'll need to get replacements in that are better than them to make a squad. Because we've said on the podcast or the channel a lot of times that Arsenal have a good 13 to 14 players, but we just need that 3 or 4 players to kind of elevate the squad.
100%. As I said, we have a solid foundation now, I think, and we have like a starting 11 who is great, but we just need to have this extra 5-6 players just in case we want to move around things and like substitute something. And it's gonna come, like, and where we are now in the position, I think we're in a great position. People like the way we play. There's a few new faces and eyes on us now and say, okay, that is a project actually we would like to play. And look, we'll see what's going to happen. And as I said, it's going to come around quick enough. There's a few more games going to come up as well. The draw for the FA Cup was yesterday for the 3rd round, and we have drawn Oxford United. I think the game is on the 7th of January, as much as I think on this. So it'd be a and
it's between the Newcastle. It's after the Newcastle game, and then Spurs game after Oxford game.
And then after that, I think, as much as I remember as well, the Man City game, which was cancelled during the Queen's funeral. That's going to be as well in 15th of February, I think, Yeah.
Half-time kick-off on Amazon.
Yeah, so it could be an interesting one as well. Look, as we said before, like the October was quite tight with all them games, but like coming back after Christmas, it's not going to be much better. Like, I mean, there's going to be 26th, 31st, 3rd, 15th. So January is all right, but there will be a FA Cup games and see who's going to play then. But then, from then onwards, February is going to be a massive month. Yeah, we're playing City and look, any game is going to be challenging then, but we'll be, I think 15th of February might be a point of where the season is gonna go, like, I mean, it's good that we play them at home.
I think we're still topping at 15th of February, Martin. We can start kind of breathing down,
Well, definitely, that's what I'm saying. So like we don't want to, I don't want to go too far ahead, but I think that game will be a decider where we're going to end up in the league, one way or the other, depending on even if we are still in front.
Even the first game back, Martin, like we play.
Yeah.
City play Leeds away the first game, but it's at 12:45 on the Stephen's Day, Boxing Day for the English people. But we don't play till that night, so potentially we could go 8 points clear if they lost against Leeds, which is just, it's absolutely crazy, like,
Yeah. And to be honest, West Ham are not like a team to roll over. Any team,
No.
you know, like team for. But yeah, look, as I said, if we can go even go into the new year top, look, we're so well ahead now that we probably will make that hopefully. But yeah, look, even Brighton then, you know, like on the 31st, it's going to be a tough game. That's a way, like, you know, like we lost against them in the Carabao Cup, you know. So it's going to be, maybe it's going to be a revenge, a complete different game, complete different setup. But look, anything after, so go to the World Cup, see who's coming back. Hopefully they're going to get a good break in Dubai.
Like, as we're saying,
Martin, you know,
we probably think that Brazil and France are going to go far, you know. So realistically, the likes of Saliba, Martinelli, and Jesus, they won't be back until a few days before the West Ham game.
Yeah.
So possibly they probably won't even play that game. You know, well, maybe probably won't start it. You know. So
yeah.
Like, that's when the likes of, you know, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Nketiah, and Holden or Tommy Astiu has to kind of step up. You know.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see, because I know, like Smith Rowe said, like he's training now, so he will be hoping, you know, to be available for the West Ham game. They didn't say anything about I'm sure he's going to go to Dubai as well for the training anyway. Be interesting to see if he's going to be involved in any of them it's not even a preseason. It's a mid-season preseason.
Pre-season.
So like if he's going to be involved in any of these games and see, you know, where it's going to go, because like definitely we 100% need players that when they come back, and as you said as well, Martinelli and Jesus, they might not be playing, but they might go far, you know. So like I think the final is on the 10th or 12th or something like that. 8 is it on the 18th?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! So that's only.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they probably, if they win it, they're probably celebrating. So they probably go back in London until 24th and 2nd of December, and it's going to be hectic. So a lot of the squad players are going to have to step up then for the first.
100%. Yeah.
You know, they should be back by the Brighton game, you'd think.
Yeah. Yeah, be interesting season anyway. But let's see how we get on. As I said, we drew FA Cup, Oxford United.
Yeah.
We lost to them twice, but the last time I think was 1985. Somebody yesterday in the WhatsApp group said he remembers that game. He was there at the stadium. I was like, okay, fair enough.
That's Earl Eamon, I think.
Eamon or Brendan, one of the guys.
What's he say? Barbary. Like that. He loves his accents.
It does, yeah. So, look, again, it's going to be interesting what team is going to be sending out. I think the FA Cup is one of these competitions we love, you know, and we would like to win again, I presume. So you don't want to be putting out too much of a weak team. But yeah, it's going to be in the middle of like Newcastle and Spurs, and them two games are going to be as well, especially Newcastle, Spurs, and then United. So there's 3 games. They're really going to be like tough games. So we'll see where we are.
Tell us a lot about where the season will go.
Yeah, 100%. Because they're just some kind of games, you know, they're all 3 of them are going to be around us, you know, especially Newcastle. I think Newcastle have a big chance actually to go top 4. My prediction after where we started is like that it's going to be City, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Spurs. That's my top 4.
Yeah.
I as much as I hate to say Spurs, you know, but I think that they're sneaking through with some mad results. And Newcastle, they're really starting to play and they're gelling quite nice. I don't know what they're going to buy in January, and it's a good job we actually played them in January.
Yeah, I think it depends who Newcastle buy in January. My top 4 prediction is probably still going to be City, Arsenal, Spurs, and Liverpool. I just think Liverpool will have players back after their World Cup. And you might even buy 1 or 2 in January. My kind of worry is Liverpool going on a bit of a run. Now, look, we're 15 points clear of them. I'd be shocked if they finished ahead of us, but you know,
you never know in this league. You know, it's going to be one of these crazy leagues, and you just don't know. And it might be going the other way around. Like we might get way further. You know, like in you know, Liverpool might not. So God knows what it is. Look, exciting times to come ahead. As I said, we're gonna watch the England-Wales game now, and maybe like in what today is today, like maybe in the middle of just before the semi-finals, we might have another recap and see who's still involved in the games and see where the Arsenal players are. There might be a few more we can talk about. As I said, the games are gonna be when on the The Lyon game is on the 8th of December, which is basically next week, which is Thursday. And then on the Tuesday after, on the 13th, we play Milan. So maybe we do like after that's actually a 2:00 kickoff. So we're probably going to do the next podcast on 13th of December and see where we are. Maybe do a bit of review of what we've seen. Maybe we've seen a few new players, maybe Smith Rowe is back on them. And then we can have a look and discuss about it. But so far, as I said, we have to kind of bridge it over. That's it. The women are going to be back as well next week. They're going to play Champions League and probably going to do a podcast with Lotte then to see how they get on. And good. Listen, thanks very much. Enjoy the game now in the next couple of minutes. And thanks for joining us again. And anybody who wants to subscribe, please do. We have also a thank you button there if you want to support the channel. And as I said, the things are coming out for the Arsenal Dublin club coming out tomorrow. There could be a link on social media as well, and you'll be able to order online from the shop. So thanks again. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, and enjoy the rest of the World Cup, and come on the Guinness. All right.
Cheers. See you.
See you, Greg. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.